Six Gun Productions. New media, new rules.
This is Geek News Radio. Broadcast 49 for Tuesday, November 21st, 2017. Columbo and Orient Express.
This is Geek News Radio, episode 49. I'm Fab in Hamburg.
I'm Dave in Birmingham.
Hello!
Hello.
Welcome to this podcast where we drink alcohol and talk about geeky shit, which is mostly Star Trek and some video games.
Yes.
I thought I'll tell people what this podcast is about.
Yeah.
Just in case we got like one more listener, a new listener or something. Dude, so people who listen to this will know the most important thing is we're here, and then the second most important thing is what we're drinking.
Yeah.
And I'm drinking Bounty rum. It's overproof rum from Fiji. 58%.
Wow.
Cheers. And I do need this now because this is my third podcast today.
What?
I'm actually...
So you did CT Uplink?
Yeah, I did two for work. I did the Heise show and CT Uplink. So we have a live show.
Yeah.
I did that, which we do Thursdays at noon. Mm-hmm. Did that about the new Firefox. Oh, maybe we should talk about that quickly as well.
Yeah.
And and then I did Uplink, had a few meetings in between, stuck in the train a hell of a long time. But now I'm here. What are you drinking?
I have got an old-fashioned that I've topped up with some bonus whiskey because it was a bit too sugary.
So I have a lot of commute time now, right? And I haven't listened for a podcast for a while, like all of October and whatever. So I'm listening to like Crate and Crowbars, listen to like 6 in a row or something. And it's been affecting me that much that I've even been thinking about just drinking Jim Beam on the show, which a few months ago would have been unthinkable.
Yeah. But now it's all changed because we're well and truly ripping off the Crate and Crowbar.
Oh yeah, today we'll be
theme.
Ripping them off because we will be talking. We will both, I guess, review Heat Signature. You played it too, right?
Yes, I have.
So we will. And then I want to talk about Murder on the Orient Express, which I've seen the other day. And I guess that's Poirot.
Yeah.
And I guess they have a Poirot podcast now as well.
They do, which I really enjoy, actually, because I
haven't listened to that yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're actually watching Poirot?
No. So the thing is, I'm not watching it along with them because.
Is that? I haven't listened to the show. Is it like a book club show? It's
a little bit like a book club show. It's kind of like the there's the X-Files files where they're watching all the X-Files.
Oh, is it in real time? Is it like the Battlestar Galactica podcast?
A little bit. They're doing one thing at a time in order of
something's beeping.
Yeah, classic Birmingham streets. We're going to move somewhere quiet. It's going to be great.
Good. Okay. The countryside.
Not that far away. But so they're kind of going through it, I think, in order of when they were released. Which is fine.
But are they talking about it? Are you supposed to watch the episode with it?
So, I think they're kind of going through it, explaining what's happening and like their thoughts as they're watching it. So it's kind of like a weird merger. It's not like the X-Files files where it doesn't really make any sense unless you've watched it. Right. And it's also the same kind of thing. There's a podcast called On the Time Lash, which is two Scottish guys. And they review, they kind of talk about old and new Doctor Who, and it's called On the Time Lash because there's an episode of Doctor Who called Time Lash, and being on the lash is going out drinking, and like the first couple of ones they recorded in a pub, so it made sense. So, but that they kind of like assume you've watched the episode, but in the Poirot podcast, it's kind of like you can get away with not watching it, but equally I have seen all the Poirots with David Suchet, so I know what happens.
What is it called? It's not called the Poirot podcast, is it? But that would be a good name.
It's It's got a good name, hasn't it? It's got like something about mustaches. It's called Little Grey Cells, isn't it?
All right, because it's Pro.
And its logo is like a tiny white mustache on a grey background. It's really good. I'm quite enjoying it. But I've not seen or wanted to really see the Orient Express because because I think they summed it up there quite nicely in that it's one of those. It's
let's talk about that in a bit. Let's first talk about Firefox.
Okay? Oh yes, so Firefox Quantum, right?
So yeah, we'll do Firefox, then we do the Orient Express, and then you'll finish up with Heat Signature. So it's the tech segment with the Firefox. I had a request for a ukulele intro song. So Firefox, they have a new update out. I'm using it right now. I hope it's not crashing like the old version. Well, it's updated. It's I'm using Windows right now, so it's just updated, and it looks different. It's apparently has a new engine, whatever. I think the big thing is the CSS
they've rewritten the kind of entire engine. I don't know which bit of that is. Is it the JavaScripty bit? Or the entire kind of rendering?
I think CSS is the new in this.
Okay. So they've rewritten that. Apparently uses less memory.
Yeah, well, it can't use more than before.
Well,
I don't think that's possible.
So if you've read the older, like every couple of releases, they're always like, oh, it uses more memory, less memory than ever, or like than previously. Which is
except on my system for some reason.
Yeah, no, I've tried it. I tried it, say 8 months ago or something. I feel. And it was just like, oh god, this is terrible. I used to use it all the time at work. I use
it all the time. I can tell you, it is bad.
Yeah, like I made the stand, and I was like, at work, because at work I'm not signed in with a Google account. I was like, so I may as well just use Firefox. So I gave Firefox a go. And it's just like so much memory, and so many web pages just don't work in it. Like,
right.
It's a constant battle to some things will just stop working one day, and then you'll look at it and it's just because it's like using some feature that just Firefox doesn't support or doesn't do in the same way as Chrome, and no one cares because no one uses Firefox. Like developers nah.
Sorry, I'm bumping the microphone. I'm adjusting our recording thing as we talk because we were coming in really hot and
I was super loud.
I thought it was on your side, but there's obviously something wrong on my side. I'm fixing it while we talk. Yeah, so Firefox I've been using it for a long time, and it's been horrible. Like I've getting memory.
Right, so
we talked about this on the turtle, the little turtle, and all that shit.
Yeah,
the fucking turtle. Fuck.
So why did you put up with it? Like if it was shit. You were like, this user experience is awful. I will continue.
Freedom of the web and all that.
Right, I suppose.
No, it's just like I've been using Chrome, and that gotten on my nerve. That was horrible as well.
Oh, really?
For a while. It's just like that's been crashing as well, and it's like I don't know. I get fed up with it.
Yeah, I find with Chrome things it cannot handle are things like Twitter. If you accidentally leave it on for 18 hours and you come back and it's like, you've missed 3,000 tweets, it will just lock up everything. And you have to force quit everything. Which is bad. But also I feel like maybe that's Twitter's fault for trying to
No, that's just the web. It should be able to handle the web. If Twitter isn't the web, what is?
That's true. That's a good point. Well, maybe it's just because they've added 140 more characters. They can't.
Yeah, Chrome can't help. Well, I don't know. I had problems with Chrome as well. I switched to Firefox. I always thought it's a good idea. I thought you got to support them. You don't Google already owns everything. They know everything about me. Then I might as well use another browser. And I was, I liked the way how they developed it, but it was just that memory shit. And then I remember people keep saying I had these problems on Linux as well, ages ago. And people were saying I must be Linux. But now that I use both operating, I use Windows and Linux pretty much 50-50 now.
Right.
And I use Firefox on both. And it has the exact same problems on both. So.
Oh dear.
But now apparently they finally have restructured it so it has a tab, tab. The tabs are multi-process, every tab is its own process. So
tabs keep crashing. independently.
It shouldn't like crash if one tab goes bad.
Yeah. So have you been actually using the new one then?
I'm using it right now.
And it's like good? Or
well, I haven't used it
is there
enough.
any improvement at all?
I can't like
Just can't tell.
I've only been using it for a few minutes. I can't really. It doesn't feel faster to me. It feels. It feels like they changed the loading around a bit, so it seems faster, if you know what I mean. But like like Chrome, like Firefox used to have this thing where you'd load a web page and it would load, like, this is ages ago, but it would load all of the web page in the background and then just show it to you in one thing, and that you'd think it loaded slower, whereas I think Chrome started to like come in with the idea that if you load like some stuff and then the other stuff pops in, like people don't notice. Yeah, and this feels like that. It does feel a bit faster, but not like massively faster.
Okay.
I don't know. For me, like Firefox wasn't bad. I just I had stability problems, you know. And that was the main thing. So if they fix that's good with me. That's all I need.
What is this the first release or the second release where they've removed loads of their add-in support, their plugin?
I thought it was the second, but apparently, like what I remembered was like the NPARP thing. But that's like the plugins. That's the actual plugins like Flash and that. You know, they retired that. This is like the extension.
Yes, they've like changed. Basically, you can now install Chrome extensions in it.
Apparently not. Like I talked to like in the thing I did today, like with I talked to one of our like web guys that he knows a lot more about this stuff than me, and apparently they use the same standard as Chrome, but it's called Web Extension or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
And you can't, like, they're too browser specific. It's the same standard, but you just can't take a Chrome and just pop it in as a user. But I guess for a developer, it's a lot less
more
work.
code sharing rather than literally just compatibility.
Yeah, I think the compatibility is like it's just like the layer, like the it's like it's probably like if you're using RPMs on different distros, you know what I mean? You can't just you just can't grab an RPM for one distro and install another because like binaries might be another place and shit like that. Stuff like that. So it sounds a bit like that.
And it feels snappy. I don't know. So I've just gone to the Guardian because I know they.
You just did that live on the show.
Yeah, they serve. I know they serve.
The Dave method of testing.
If you don't have like an ad blocker, they serve literally a ton of adverts.
I don't have an ad blocker. No.
But it's like, a website I know doesn't have dodgy ads, but it's also like full of them, and it is kind of like I'm on a massive connection.
Wow, that loaded really quick. I tried to get it just was there immediately.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
And the ads just came in later.
I don't know.
That was actually really fast.
The question is like how.
Holy shit.
I mean, it does feel nippy. Like how fast does Hacker News load? Is pretty okay. I might be giving this a go at work then.
That's your benchmark.
If I can load Hacker News faster, that's going to optimize my day.
What site do we know that
is really shit?
It's like really massive and loads really slow.
Twitter.com. I've got to log in. Oh, this is a pain.
I can load Twitter. See. That was not that fast.
Yeah, it's less good on that.
It's less fast.
So Ellie's just passed me a note mid-podcast.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Everyone at her company has been advised by IT to use the new Firefox.
The new Firefox?
Yeah, apparently.
Wow, it's a really progressive company.
Yeah.
Like we use, we have this internal CMS, and we have to use, was it ESR, like the long-term support thing?
Yes.
Which, like, nobody, I mean, we're like web journalists, right? We're not using like a 2-year-old browser. What?
That's true. Yeah.
So apparently, so the thing we were talking about is like extensions, right? I can't remember that they deprecate, like not in recent memory that they've done that before. But now they have like lots of they changed this, the API, I guess, for the extensions, and so all the like extensions where the developers haven't changed that for this release don't work. But there's like 6,000 that work, and obviously there's a ton that don't. But like, I mean, lots of the ones a lot of people use will probably work. People are waiting for NoScript, and apparently they're fixing that this week.
Cool.
Is that? I'm not sure I like the new UI. It's very.
I think it kind of fits with Windows 10.
It's very like material design, isn't it?
But that is probably just because I'm used to Chrome, and Chrome nobbles the theme anyway. Chrome just ignores themes.
That's one of the things I didn't like about it, for example, on Linux. If you have that open, the new Firefox, right? You know what bugs me about it? Like, if you look at the theme, it's got like a 1 pixel colored border, which is in the Windows color scheme.
Yeah, so mine's orange.
I've got mine set to red.
Yeah.
And something about that really bothers me. I think I did notice that yesterday. Like, I wasn't going for the the pages loading quick.
Isn't that just a Windows thing? Because doesn't Chrome have that as well?
Yeah, but like I have a native Windows app. I have the stopwatch running, right? And the stopwatch has that as well, but for some reason it's a different color.
Yeah,
it's like bright, like the apps.
So on mine they're the same. Spotify doesn't have one. What does Sublime Text do?
Oh, I think you're right.
Sublime Text has it as well.
I think right. I just
Are we just noticing either a brand new feature or just
no? I'm just noticing that I really hate how Windows does borders, because I'm just noticing that the File Explorer has this as well. And now that I look at it, and you said this, I'm remembering that I've been annoyed about this before. So just to reiterate what I'm annoyed about, even though it's not Firefox's fault, I just want to say this. It's like that it has like a 1 pixel border in the color. So if you have a very stark theme, like me, like I have a red border, and I don't mind that. But like there's also like a drop shadow,
right?
Which is like a very 2000 Photoshop drop shadow.
Yeah.
And that together with that border just doesn't gel. But apparently that's Windows, so Windows just shit.
I think it's all right. Like, it's just not a thing that I really notice.
I notice shit like this. It's a blessing and a curse. So I guess that's Firefox. Well, we'll come back and like if we've used it for a while and say how bad it is. You'll be coming in with detailed statistics about Hacker News loading times.
Yes, I'll do a full assessment of the average Hacker News rendering time.
A benchmark.
Yes, it'd be interesting metric of like how many things that are posted on Hacker News actually work in Firefox, seeing as they're all presumably Chrome users.
Yeah, probably right. That set of they probably all are. Maybe one Opera user. Yeah, it's the new Firefox. Okay, then we're up to Murder on the Orient Express. Murder. I kind of want to sing Murder Incorporated. Murder Incorporated. It's a good song, by the way. Anyway, yes. So I've watched Murder on the Orient Express. Okay, I gotta preempt this. I watched it in German.
Oh my days.
Yeah, which I usually don't do, but we were going with friends, and sometimes it's just like socializing and shit. There was one really good quote in it, which I don't know what the British, the original was. So right. I'm just gonna translate it back to German, and maybe somebody you haven't seen it, right?
I've seen the original. I say, the David Suchet version.
No. I mean,
I've not seen the film. No.
I don't think that's you. I don't know. We'll have to.
Well, it's like David Suchet is.
Aren't there like a million Poirots? I mean, I looked
up
2. No. I looked it up on Wikipedia. And it's like 20 people.
I think in terms of like long-running TV series,
probably, but
I can remember.
Okay, so he's been portrayed by Charles Laughton, Francis L. Sullivan, Austin Trevor, Orson Welles, Harold Huber. Is he German, Harold Huber? No, he's from New York. Harold Huber, Richard Williams, Joseph Farah, Martin Gable, Tony Randall, Albert Finney, Peter Ustinov. I know that word.
Yeah, that's the other one.
Ian Holm, David Suchet, John Moffat, Maurice Denham, Peter Sallis, Konstantin Raikin, Alfred Molina, Robert Powell, Jason Durr, and in this movie by Kenneth Branagh.
Oh, wow.
Peter Sallis. Oh.
Didn't know
John
that.
Moffat. Maurice Denham. He sounds like somebody from the IT crowd. Yeah, Peter Ustinov's great. That's the version I know, I think. I remember that. Anyway, so so you haven't seen this movie. So there's so I'm going to translate this back. Maybe somebody can write in at Geek News Radio on Twitter, or write us an email. Geek News GNR at 6gun.org. Sorry, it's been a long day. And tell us what the English thing was. But translated back from German, he's annoyed, right?
Uh-huh.
He's annoyed,
Yeah.
and he basically wants to say something is crap, and he goes, "This is He goes, "What's a camembert?" And so, because in German, to say something is really bad, you can say "Das ist Käse." So
Right.
roughly translated, this is cheese. It's crap. So, but he can't remember the word cheese, so he goes, "What's a camembert?" And the guy's called, "Oh, it's a cheese." Yeah, it's cheese. So he goes like, das ist, was ist ein Camembert? Ja, das ist Käse.
That's so good. Oh, man.
And I gotta say, they had me at the mustache, because that's one of the things I always found annoying about the Suchet thing. I really do not like his mustache. Have you seen
his mustache.
this goes so
It's so
far
good.
that this is so weird. So I watched this movie, and I do know who Kenneth Branagh is. I knew his name. I knew he's a very famous actor. I know, he does Shakespeare and shit. And but I had no idea that, for example, he was in Harry Potter. Or that he was in what was that other movie? Wild West, apparently somebody told me today. So because he looks so different, especially in Harry Potter, he played what's that? Gilderoy Lockhart.
Yes.
He looks so different, and in this, it's I think it's the mustache.
Right.
This is possibly the best mustache I've ever seen in a movie. It is fucking amazing.
I'll give you that. It is a very impressive.
So actually, the pictures they have, especially the ones from the front, do not do it justice. You probably have to see the trailer or whatever. So this mustache is basically a, in Germany we call it a Kaiser Wilhelm, because Wilhelm II. It's basically that mustache, except it's not as twirled up. And then where that ends, he basically uses his beard, right? Not the mustache. The mustache are the hairs on top of your lip.
Yeah.
But where that ends, he hasn't shaved his beard and it's hard to explain, has extended the mustache with that hair from the beard on the cheeks to have more mustache. It's fucking amazing. And then on top of that, there's a scene where somebody wakes him in the morning and he wears this amazing mask. He has this beard saver mask. Oh, I found an image. I'm gonna put this in the show notes because this kinda shows where I'm coming from. If you look at this, you can basically see where his mustache ends, and then it's just like beard. It's perfect. It's so good. And then he's got, usually I hate soul patches, but that isn't a real. That's more like a mini beard as well.
Yeah.
He is really good. I mean, I think all the acting's really good. I mean, Johnny Depp's great in it. He's the guy who gets murdered, which is perfect because everybody hates him now.
Yeah, it's like
because
if
of
I could
the whole.
just continue.
Although after all that Weinstein shit, I think this makes it's probably perfect for Johnny Depp. Like it makes anything Johnny Depp did.
He keeps kind of playing like if he keeps playing nasty people, it'll maybe make people forget why he's such a horrible person.
Yeah. So
oh man, he's really horrible. Oh, because he plays lots of horrible people, not because he's a massive bellend.
Yeah, he plays somebody really nasty in this. Even Judi Dench, she plays like the what's the Baroness or whatever.
Yeah. So like the casting of Johnny Depp is really weird, other than him being a prick, which is like goes that saying. But
no, it's not really weird. He's perfect in that role.
So in my mind, like I grew up with him in Pirates of the Caribbean, so he is a comedic guy. In my mind, he plays comedies. That's it.
Well,
like,
there is
bad comedic films, and then there's something that's trying to be kind of quite serious, and it's like, well,
no, I don't think it's like it fits. This is not trying to be that serious. So it is a bit of a comedic, because he's playing Bella, and like he's playing this guy, who knows he has enemies, but he's playing an idiot basically. So he actually his comedic talents work really well in this, and like also he has like this horrible mustache, which helps as well. It's like this gangster mustache. It really works. Judi Dench, really different from her normal roles, I think. At least what I've seen her do. Because she can do it because she's brilliant. I actually don't know. One of my favorite guys is the guy. Oh God, I don't know what his name is. He played the Hobgoblin in like one of the Spider-Man movies. What's his face?
What, Willem Dafoe?
Is that Willem Dafoe?
I thought he played the Hobgoblin. No, he played the Green Goblin. What?
No, that's him. Yeah. He plays like the professor. Like he's a,
Oh wow.
Do we care about spoilers? Everybody knows, right?
Yeah, just go for it. Spoiler away.
That's another thing. I think I watched this with lots of girls who didn't know the ending to the Orient Express.
Oh wow.
Which I couldn't remember any specifics. But this is like it's like such a well-known like twist.
Yeah.
That I just so he plays like this. I think is he a policeman? But he's like Poirot. Like he disguises himself as an Austrian professor. And then Poirot finds out that he's not. So he says he's a Pinkerton detective, but he actually used to be a policeman.
Yeah.
I think. Does that gel? Is that?
I believe so. It's been a very long time since I've seen it.
Well, the problem is I don't know if he's Austrian in the my problem with Poirot generally is that I've watched it's like kind of when I watched Columbo. I used to watch it with my grandma, so I watch it in German, and I've just recently rewatched Columbo in English. So I've never seen this undubbed, so I don't know if he's just Austrian because in a German version he's Austrian. So basically he fakes this Austrian accent and Poirot calls him because I think he used the wrong word for cream. At least in this. It makes sense in German, but I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder how much they've changed then.
I'm trying to look this up on Wikipedia. This is the moment when we need Pip from the Poirot podcast. I obviously don't know enough. So the Countess, who is the Colonel is a doctor in this,
right?
So a Bothnot is a doctor. Count and Countess, yes.
Pardon me.
Gesundheit. Fräulein Hildegard Schmidt is Dutch in this. I don't know if she's German in the original. Okay, obviously. It says Cyrus Hartman, a private detective ostensibly retained as a bodyguard by Cassetti. That's him. So I guess this is the original book. So I don't know if in that movie, 2017... Okay, let's look that up. Hildegard Schmidt. That's good. He's a doctor. Yes. Willem Dafoe's Gerhard Hartmann. Okay, what was he called in the other one? I'm trying to reference Cyrus Hartmann. Okay, so I guess they changed that. Yeah, so he's disguising himself as an Austrian, which kind of works in the German dubbing as well, because the Austrian accent is. I really liked him. I generally liked all of the actors. I didn't get like, as you said, like with Johnny Depp being serious or whatever. It didn't feel too serious because it's kind of hard to do this too serious because I guess everybody knows the ending, or a lot of people. Like, okay, all the millennials probably won't, although you're a millennial and you know. So
yeah, but I mean, I watched it as a kid.
Yeah, probably, but many people will have done. I don't know. I did like Michelle Pfeiffer in it. Usually don't really like her much, but she has a big role in this. She's really good. Penelope Cruz, I wasn't so hot on. She's a bit, but her role's kind of shit as well. She plays like the ex, the oh God. I'm going into the trap that I know all the German words because I watch this in German. What's Gouvernante? It's the like the lady who looks after the kid. Governess. Yeah, she's like the governess. So yeah, she didn't like her that much. But Daisy Ridley was great. She was awesome. She plays like the drugged countess.
Yeah.
She liked her a lot more than in Star Wars.
All right, yeah. Okay.
She had, even though she was playing like stoned off her tits, basically, she had more facial expressions than in Star Wars, which that was good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think Brenna is awesome. I'll have to watch it in English again and compare, but I would recommend people see it. It's a lot of fun. I think Kenneth Branagh's great. Apparently he produced and directed this, so I think he just wanted to be Poirot.
Yes.
And just made it happen. Now, it ends with, so when they pull him off the train, it ends with, like, we have another case. And he's like, is this British whatever case again? And she's like, no. There's been a murder on the middle of the fucking Nile. So that apparently, yeah, obviously they're setting up murder on the Nile.
I mean, it's I believe done quite well. It's made its money back twice over already, I think.
It's budget only 55 million.
Yeah,
which I guess makes sense. It's basically just all the train cars. Well, and a lot of CGI, you know.
Yes. Oh yeah, because I suppose. But
it goes to the mountainside quite nice. I like it. Looks quite nice.
But I mean, CGI is relatively cheap compared to probably models and expensive sets. So yeah, but it's apparently done like over $100 million, which is, I mean, if they're going to make some more, I
think this is probably 55 million. Is probably 50 million for the cast and 5 million for the rest.
The thing is that it's got like interns from the Dave
from the Dave school
that used to advertise on Hollywood Babylon.
Yeah, the Dave school.
Yeah,
is that your outfit?
If only they seem to be making it in. Or they're
I can teach you how to be Dave. You don't have to go to the US for that.
They worked on such things as Iron Man 3. I kind of. It's kind of one of the flagship Poirot titles, but I really much prefer the kind of more boring,
where he's just in a countryside.
Just in the countryside, because like on the Orient Express, it's kind of a little bit more kind of exotic.
I think that was the point of the book. Right?
Whereas I really like Poirot just judging every Englishman for being an absolute just idiot and like uncultured. Like that's my favorite thing is Poirot just being like really just like belligerent to the English.
So
I think it's great.
So speaking about being belligerent to people, I can't remember how it's like in the original way. In this, he's much more OCD.
Yeah.
Like his thing is mostly being OCD. So I watched this movie, and then in the end I thought, well, this was great. Now, what would this be like if this would have been Columbo? So like if like the problem with Columbo like in this setting is like he isn't being a dick to the British.
Yeah.
He's just like Columbo is basically the same thing. He's being a dick to the American bourgeoisie, so to say. But he's like, I don't know. I think I want to see this movie with maybe Kenneth Branagh can do it. Like just shave the mustache off and just get a coat and just
change the accent up.
Call it to they have the sets, all the CGIs, right? Just do this. They should have done it like immediately, like with the same cast. Just reshot the movie and then have a second movie, Columbo on the Orient Express. I think that would be great. Like I really think. So I think they should like because obviously like lots of people will know what happened. The whole mystery doesn't kind of work.
Yeah.
So I think actually the way of doing like these stories Columbo style, where you know from the beginning who the murderer is, would actually work now. Probably better.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, in a kind of like it's not if you take something where it's not a the fun is actually the journey rather than the explanation. Like
yeah. Well,
that could work maybe better, and I think I'd be more open to seeing that than like oh man, I know the answer to this kind of thing. Which I mean, it kind of goes against things I've like said in the past, but I prefer kind of things that hold up even if you know the result. So maybe I should like watch it, but I'd maybe rather just watch David Suchet versions because he's great. But also, actually, this thing about the kind of like clean kind of germaphobe OCD-ness is quite strong in like the David Suchet ones, where he's like very neat. He always has his massive like handkerchief bib thing when he's eating food. Like
he keeps telling people like, would you please straighten your tie?
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah,
I think you should watch this. Like, okay. You don't have to see it in the cinema, but at some point I want you as probably more of a Poirot man. I'm more the Columbo man. I want you to watch this and
sure.
Tell me what you think. And in the meantime, I'm just gonna work on figuring out how to do that mustache. I think, like, I seriously think if he gets an Oscar,
yeah, it'll just be the mustache.
They should actually just give it to the mustache or the mustache lady or whoever that. There must have been like a mustache boy.
Chief Grip, but like
Chief Mustache Grip, best boy mustache. I didn't like the credits were too fast. I wonder if that sometimes they have like a wardrobe for Mr. Brosnan, like mustache care, Mr. Branagh. I really enjoyed it. I have to say, I don't go to the cinema often anymore, and it's been a really long time since I've just enjoyed a movie that much. Like, okay, we talked about Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I probably would have loved that if I seen it in the cinema.
Yeah.
But this is just like, this wasn't laugh out loud. This was just sitting there. It was actually, we went to this after work thing.
Yeah.
So I actually had I don't think it was a Jim Beam, but it was like I think it was a Johnny Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Basically an old fashioned, I think. And I had a huge glass of that, and I was just watching this, and I had a lot of fun. That's great.
Sweet, yeah. Lovely.
I guess we should then talk about Heat Signature, a game by Thomas. What's his middle name? Is it
I don't know.
Thomas P. Francis. It's now Pentadact. Yeah, it's P for Pentadact. It's like John O.P. Bacon. Thomas P. Francis. So we talked about this before. Tom Francis has released a game after how long?
3, 4. Let's have a look when Gunpoint came
took
out.
him like
Gunpoint.
ages to make this game.
Gunpoint.
After Gunpoint, which I hadn't played for ages. And actually,
Gunpoint came out in 2013.
So if you look on my Steam profile, I think the only ever comment on there is from you. Let me check if that's all right. Yep. Well, you say Gunpoint is damn good. 1st of December 2013.
Wow.
4th of December 2014. Me, I'll have to give it a try. It's been on my to play list for a while now. And I think I played it in like 2015 or something.
Oh, wow.
So it took me ages. But like I really like Tom. Like I think he's my favorite guy on Crate and Chroma.
Oh, so bad, Chris.
Yeah, I disagree with Chris quite a lot. I like Tom's about games. He's very opinionated. I think he generally is. Like as opinionated as you can get on the Crate and Chroma. Yeah. As they are, they're very tame. They're not like we are over here.
There's not like spicy hot takes.
Well, there's a lot of hot takes, but they're just like they're nice.
They're nice.
There's probably been a lot of things said about me, but I don't think he's so nice.
Yeah, no one's ever said that. No one's ever said that. Fab, he's so nice.
So I really like him, and I was like, this sounds really interesting. So like when it came out, like even days before, I was like, I had it on my wish list for ages, and I just bought it. And I bought like the supporter edition because I think he's a nice guy, and I like to give nice people money to make nice things. And so what it is, it's a space game. It's like a very top down. It looks like the old GTA, or like maybe Hotline Miami. But so it's top down. You're like kind of a guy, and then you can go into spaceships. Like you have this little pod, which doesn't have weapons, and you fly around in space, and you can dock or your pod to enemy ships. Yeah, and then you kind of storm them. And it's balls hard. Especially if you don't realize that you can pause, and you should pause.
Roguelite Hotline Miami, but with a pause menu.
Hotline Miami Paradox style.
It's I don't know. Yeah,
so it's roguelike because basically the spaceships, they're just like rooms. They don't look like, they're not like rounded or something. They're like
very kind of simple layout.
Yeah, they're basically dungeons.
They're dungeons, but you have to go and find them in space. And also, it doesn't really matter if your character dies. Your character is kind of like a vehicle for items. So, at least as far as I can tell, there's no upgrading your person. There's only upgrading your gear and your pod, which is kind of cool. Which means if you die, all you lose is your gear. Which
there really is there's no upgrading. You can get other gear, and even the upgrading your pod is that's world. You upgrade the world basically.
Yeah, but the kind of there are kind of tiers of weapons. So maybe more precisely, you're generally doing these missions, which might be steal a thing from a spaceship, assassinate a guy, rescue a person, knock them out and carry them off. Steal a ship, and that's kind of the kind of core missions. But then there's clauses attached to them, which make them more interesting. So it might be
no bloodshed,
a bloodless mission, which means you have to use non-lethal takedowns to just knock people out. So that means concussion guns and koshes to knock people out, rather than shotguns and swords. You might have a slightly different variant of that, which is the no witnesses one, which is no living witnesses, which means either you do it stealth mode or you kill everyone. There's ones where there's silent, so you can't trigger an alarm. So that's a thing, which is quite important, is that it is a stealth game, because Tom Francis made it, obviously. And you're kind of creeping around, and they don't know you're there until they see you or somehow detect you, and then there's a short timer.
Well,
short time of slowdown, like in Metal Gear Solid 5, where you can like kill them and bam, they don't set off the alarm. But eventually you'll set off the alarm, and then you have a timer for like how long it's going to take the ship to. So that's basically like the pilot has been alerted to that there's an intruder, and then it kind of pilots to like the nearest station where it docks, and then it's like that's game over basically. You can kill the pilot, and then that means that it can't pilot anymore, which I think is super satisfying. If you're like, oh my god, I've been seen, but the pilot's there, quick, just kill the pilot, and then you can't be captured.
One thing, I wouldn't call it a stealth game. So I think there's two, like if you start playing this, and I still think it's balls hard, but there's two things to basically, two keys to understand this game. The first is you need to understand that you are expected to pause and should pause.
Oh yeah, pause all the time.
And
I forgot you could pause when I started playing it.
And the second thing is remember that Tom's favorite game is Deus Ex. So I don't think his thing is stealth games per se. It feels to me more like, and he keeps saying this, like when they talk about games on Crate and Crowbar, he keeps talking about this and saying that like he likes different solutions. Like sometimes he'll explain how he does like all like no ghosts playthroughs, but sometimes he also does like playthroughs where he like basically kills everybody. Yeah. And that's the thing. You can completely, and this is more my play style, you can completely play a lot of this by just killing everybody you see.
Yes.
You just need to chain it in a way. You need to have the right weapons, you need to have the right ideas, and you need to chain it in a way that it works. And this is where the pausing comes in. So it's not Hotline Miami where like basically you have like 10 enemies and you get through them by like having a perfect run and having like twitch reflexes and shooting at the right time and facing at the right, which I can't do. I'm shit at Hotline Miami. No, it's like there's a guy, you shoot him, you see 3 other guys, they're gonna run around the corner, you pause. And then you think like, okay, I can shoot this guy, but there's no way I can shoot all 3 of them. But like I could retreat like through this corridor, and then in the next corridor there's like this fuel barrel, so I could just retreat, them running after me, and maybe like they shoot at me, but like I pause and then I can like see where the bullet goes and dodge it and pause again, and if I make it to the other side of the room of the fuel barrel, I can like kind of shoot the fuel barrel, like, and the room explodes and then the 3 guys get sucked into space or whatever. So you can actually play it ultra violently and without stealth. It's sometimes hard, like you can't solve all the problems with that, but you can actually I've done lots of missions where basically I killed everybody on the ship and started like doing it, and like basically I went in the ship, paused, looked at all the rooms, looked at all the like there's people who have like key codes that you need to get through, like
there are doors.
And sometimes you can unlock them with terminals or key cards. But then it's like, okay, if I run through here, kill this guy, like I have a shotgun, maybe I have an auto-fire shotgun, right? So I run through, I can kill this guy, kill this guy, kill this guy. Then this guy gives me a key. I can run through the door, kill this guy, kill this guy. And like, I know that as soon as I kill the first guy, the alarm goes off. But I have like 30 seconds. And I've done it like loads of times that in these 30 seconds, I can actually run through all these rooms, kill all these guys, and then kill the pilot. And then the alarm doesn't bother me. So I think there's definitely like, I think his thing is like giving you lots of different ways, and stealth is definitely one of them. But like for example, I can't do it. There's like these things there's stealth shields, which are supposed to be really powerful. But they only stealth you like in the direction you face.
Yes.
And I can't use them. I've tried for weeks. I can't use them.
I've used them once and it was really cool when I did it. But
I don't know how it works.
I feel like maybe... Oh, God. So if I'm going to say there's a problem with the game, it's that there are quite a lot of items. Which is good. They kind of like play it. So there's things like key card cloners, so you can like remotely clone a card, which it kind of opens up new possibilities. There's God, there's like switching things. We can switch places with someone else. There's teleporters.
Yeah, so there's teleporters where you can switch with somebody.
There's
teleporters where you can just teleport. There's ones where you can only, I think it's called the Sidewinder, where you can only teleport if there's actually a way you could walk.
Yeah, so it's not teleporting. It's just like, warping there really fast kind of thing.
It's like really fast running.
So there's all these kind of mechanics that are kind of Twitch based. There's like not necessarily Twitch, but there's a finesse to using them.
So the thing is, like for example, with the switch places teleporter, you can go through a locked door.
Yes,
but you will be pulled back, but you'll have to switch places. Or there's one way, like for 3 seconds, you can go through the locked door.
Yes,
but you will be pulled back. And like the Sidewinder, for example, doesn't go through locked doors. You'll have to have a way to actually physically walk there.
Yeah, and I just kind of feel like you don't get enough time to at least I don't, because I'm stupid, get enough time to like fully play with them to kind of work out how to use them before you sort of end up just dead.
I think that's normal.
But I'm like, I feel like if I could just have them slightly more regularly, if I had a bit more influence over, I don't know.
Okay, there's one tip.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the simulation thing?
Yeah.
If you go in there, it has your current loadout.
Oh, I suppose
so.
It does.
If you have one of those, like one thing you want to practice with, I think that's what it's for mostly. So you can practice that.
Okay, I'll give that a go.
Like my problem is not that I don't have enough time or that there are too many items. My problem is like why I find this game hard is because I'm dumb. And I listened to like Tom talk about it and like people explaining how they play, and I realized how dumb I am. There's like lots of things that haven't occurred to me. So, for example, there's 2 things that are really hard to deal with. There's shields.
Yes.
Where like anything you shoot at that just gets reflected.
I have killed myself so many times.
Me too. What you can do with that is like there's an item that turns that shield against its user. So it'll let bullets from the outside through, or if the guy has a pistol and shoots, normally the bullet will go out, but no bullets come in. This way, bullets go in, but they can't come out. So they shoot themselves because it reflects on the inside of the shield and just then kills them.
So I've not used that yet.
So I've used that. Sometimes you just have like one of those, I think called corruptors or
maybe scramblers,
whatever. Like you hack that shield, and maybe you don't have a gun, but then you just walk towards the guard, and then he just shoots himself. So that kind of works. And then what I find even harder is there's guards that have armor, and you can only defeat armor with armor-piercing weapons.
Yeah, and those are kind of rare.
I've played this game. Let me see. So let's look on Steam. Library recent, so that I don't lie. Okay, I've played this game for 15 hours, which is not indicative because I really like it. It's just I haven't been there like October, so I haven't played it for like since it's out because like I wasn't there the month I could have played it. Played this game for 15 hours. I've not once come across armor-piercing ammunition.
Wow.
I've seen the icon. You know where it shows you how much ammo you have? And for ages, I didn't know what that other symbol was. I had to look like in a wiki or whatever. And I've never come across... I think I've seen... There's armor-piercing blades.
Yes, I've had one of those.
I think I found one really early on at a point where I didn't know what armor was.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't played the hard missions yet. So I can't, like, the only way I know to deal with armor guys is like when they're in a room with you, blow out the window and then pick yourself back up with the pod.
Yes.
Or like get them blown into space, which I haven't managed without me blowing into space. One thing you can do is, this is quite cool. I've actually done this. This is actually really satisfying. So, there's the easy way, which is like there's like this glitch traps. Like you put like a trap on the floor.
How do they work?
Well, let me teach you. So you put a trap on the floor and then you click where you want it to teleport, right?
Right.
So you just point it into space. So the guy walks over, gets beamed into space, suffocates.
I'm stupid.
And I've actually done the before.
I just assumed you couldn't do that.
Yeah, see, this is why this game is hard, because I didn't know lots of things like this. I didn't know this for the longest time. So the first one of these armored guards guys I actually killed because I didn't know how the traps work, because I couldn't get them working for a long time.
Right.
Because you need to, like, you put it down with a button and on your keyboard, and then you click. And
Yes.
I've always tried to click to put it down, which I'm stupid. It says it works differently in the bloody game. But like I still did it wrong. So how I defeated that first guard was the only thing I had, like I had a gun and like one of the switch places transporters.
Right.
So I blew myself out into space. And
Yeah,
this was
and
this was at the time when I didn't even know that you can just shoot a window out, because I didn't know the things were windows.
Oh no, I accidentally did that almost immediately.
Ah, right.
I missed shooting and then shot.
So I had lots of ships at the beginning, like I think they're glitch ships or whatever that don't have windows or very few. Anyway, so I shot a fuel barrel. This is one of the things I did really early on. They're like these TNT
that took me a while to
things.
work out that happened.
So I knew this guy was there. I had like 3 rooms on. There was a fuel barrel, right? I blew myself out into space and then switched. It was like a long range thing. So, and then I switched, like, before I flew away very quickly, like I pressed pause almost immediately, because you like the ship's gonna leave, right?
Yeah.
And then switched places with the guard. And I was so proud. And then like 2 rooms later, I died to a really stupid mistake.
So I'd love if there was like a little, you can rewind 5 seconds just to
All right, yeah.
be like, man, that was stupid. Like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, I suppose that's
Yeah,
like,
it's like
the
when
consequences, but then sometimes like, man, I'm just really, really, really dumb, and I'd like to learn my lesson and
sometimes
not
I
be
just
punished for
click
it.
wrong. Like the
Yeah.
problem is that you shoot like and like this game is like, you know, in any other game. Like, okay, maybe not stealth games, but like in the games I usually play, if you squeeze off a shot, like accidental discharge, like it's not that bad. Like it happens.
Oh, and this is terrible.
And this is like
everyone's gonna know where
alert.
you are.
Yeah, you hit a fuel barrel, everything explodes. So I do that all the time, and I've just tried to teach myself that that's not annoying that happens. So the thing in this game, I think one of the other things to do to not get annoyed with it, it's like don't get attached to your characters.
Oh yeah,
Because actually, if they die, it doesn't matter, because you lose your equipment, but you get new characters like all the time. Like you die, you get a new character. It doesn't matter. Like, and the game has. I mean, we talked about the actual like most of the game, but then there's also like a meta level basically.
Yeah,
where,
so as you're completing missions, you're increasing a progress bar, and at the end of that progress bar, you get to kind of flip the kind of allegiance of a station in the system that you're connected to.
so if you die, you lose that progress bar.
Yes,
But like if you manage to do the station flipping thing, you get bonuses, like you get better equipment in the shops. I think later on you get pods. I haven't been there yet. You upgrade your pod and you keep that. Like all your characters have that.
yeah, which is really cool. And then when you flip those kind of things, you get to play what they call it, a defector mission.
Yeah, I can't. Like I did the first one and that was it for me. Like,
Which I really like. That's actually my favorite part of the game, is these bits.
they're
Because
set bits. Right?
they are semi-random. You always have the same. You have the same equipment. So you're playing as a different person. The kind of plot thing is that you're defecting from the station and running away. And the kind of whenever you're playing these set missions, each mission will have like a different gear to complete the puzzle with. But the kind of layout is a little bit more random.
Yeah, but they're very like the first one.
They'll always
actually,
have the same theme.
You start like in space, and you
Yeah.
don't have a pod, so you need to propel yourself with the shotguns. Like
Yes. So you kind of have to do that. which I really like because it's kind of a cool puzzle as to like, okay, this is possible. How is it possible? How do I do it? And I'm currently stuck on one where I've got a, what do I have? I have a short blade and a keycard cloner, and I'm just stuck. I have no idea how to solve it because I'm like, I can't bridge the gap quick enough. Like, you can. One of the weird things is that, like, if there's any item you could, in theory, pick up, like it was accessible to you, you can teleport it to you just with a button click, which is really nice.
I think he did that just like to streamline because people would just run around and, be OCD about it.
Which means that it's like, okay, kill some dudes, and it's like, okay, I can teleport all the guns to me, right? And now I can do other things because the kind of combat system works by like activating a weapon. So it's not like your left click has a cooldown and your right click has a cooldown. It's like the thing you assign to your left click and right click have cooldowns, but then you can hit pause and then change what's assigned. So you can be like shoot with a gun, stab with a blade, pause, change what's left and right click assignable, and that's like now it's a shotgun and a concussion gun, and they're not on cooldown.
What?
So
you can just like swap the gun out and you can shoot again?
Yeah.
What?
The thing is that you can't pick up two guns, because if you pick up another gun, it just gives you more ammo.
No, but you can have a gun, a shotgun, a concussive shotgun, like an auto shotgun.
Yep.
I've had so many guns in playthroughs. Had I only known this.
Blam, 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 and then like solve the problem.
Had I only known.
There we go. It's so good. But yeah, like on this specific defector mission, I'm just stuck because I'm like, okay, I can clone a keycard, get a little bit far, but there's loads of bits where there's like 4 guards opposite each other, and they just don't move. So you can fast forward time by pressing F to like times 6 speed, and that'll mean like their kind of patrol route speed up, so you can just kind of see what's going on. And then in this one, it's just like there's nothing helpful to kind of sneak. It's all just like, yep, you're going to have to somehow magically kill 3 guys with 2 offensive weapons. And not... Because they're always quite big levels as well, at least the ones I've been doing. So like, if there's like a 40-second timer, that is a very long time to run across the entire map.
Yeah, I have problems with the time limits as well, like probably because I don't pause enough or whatever. I really like that, like, if you shoot, obviously games up and like they come running and the alarm goes off. But if you just like shift people with a knife, I've been actually playing. I've tried lots of different playstyles. At first, I thought, well, this is like a, he's Tom, so it's got to be stealth game, whatever. And I didn't realize that his favorite game was Deus Ex and not Thief. So I thought you have to do stealth game. So the first few playthroughs, missions, whatever, I just did like mostly with a knife or a wrench. And I would just like knock people out and then like carry everybody back to my pod and stash them in my pod.
I'd not thought of doing that.
But if you do that, the guards can't come across them on patrol routes. So I like the things also doesn't remove them from your pod. So like on the next levels, I had all these dead. I think at first I just shifted them. I had like all these dead guards in my pod. They keep piling up. I had like 60, 70 dead people in my pod.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so you can do that. So you can be really OCD about it. And like all the guards keep disappearing. This is a very Tom Francis thing to do. Didn't he talk about this on it at some point where he like stashed all the corpses in a room, and then there was a cutscene and like, whoever was like talking to him, and she was sitting like on a bed, and there was just like behind the bed was like a stack of 50 corpses. It felt like that. So that was kind of cool. But then I learned you can also play it much more loose. Like you have to look at like, well, obviously you can like do the thing that Tom also does, which I always also do a lot of times, like role play it and think, okay, this guy only has a wrench, so he's probably not like the weapon wielding, like the gun wielding, gun-toting cowboy guy. He's probably just and then he has the story like wants to rescue his mother, whatever. You think, okay,
I have not engaged at all with the sort of random story stuff.
Well, so like you can do that, or you can just like I now play missions mostly, like a lot of times I just played them. So this is the mission. What do I have to do here? Like, okay, it's not a bloodless mission. So, I could just kill but guys, I have a gun. Like, how long is the alarm timer? Or sometimes it's like, okay, this doesn't have an alarm timer.
Yeah.
So I'll just kill everybody. Like, let them come running.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, but there's the kind of like your character has a goal, and there's the character Fiasco who also has like stuff going on, and I'm just like not at all.
Fiasco is a great name, by the way. It's this old lady you play in the tutorial, and then she retires. So and she helps you get like, I think she probably has an end game too, but I haven't been there yet. So she helps you with your like. So every character starts with like a thing, like a mission. They have a personal mission, which is really hard. It's like wants to rescue her son from like this ship, right? And so you have a story. And the thing I really like is, so if the timer runs out, like the ship flies to a station.
Yeah.
So you're not dead. They capture you. Like the assumption is that you're on this ship and like it's gone to the station, so you have no chance. There's no like Han Solo hiding in the compartments, whatever. So they like capture you, and then the character's gone, but they're not dead. And like you get the next character is like related or a friend, or like
somehow an acquaintance,
girlfriend or boyfriend, and then you have the chance to rescue the other character, which I think managed to do once.
Yeah,
but that rescue mission is like obviously no, I haven't, because that's the new character's personal mission.
Yeah,
and I know that I haven't done a personal mission. They're like way too hard. I've always failed. I don't like so. These missions, you have like a mission board, and you can do easy missions, you can medium, hard. Was it mistake? Whatever.
I don't think there's anything above mistake.
No, I think Is it easy, medium, hard? There's another one.
Oh, insane and then
insane
mistake.
And then mistake. Yeah, and
I've not done a insane yet.
So I heard Tom talk about it on Crate & Crowbar, and he said like he wants people to pick their own difficulty. And I had the problem when I started playing it that like when my character progressed, I wouldn't get any easy missions anymore, and then I wouldn't get any.
I think the longer you play a character, the kind of change the distribution of missions you get.
But I think he's changed it. I think there was a bug or something, because now it isn't as bad. Like I get like 2 easy missions, and then I didn't get any easy missions anymore.
Okay.
And I was at like a point where I maybe could do a medium mission.
Yeah.
But a hard one I would like fail. Now I can actually do hard ones when I got the right equipment, when I'm lucky. Like when something turns up, sometimes I just can't do them. And I think they're doable. I just think I'm too dumb. Maybe I'm too impatient. But I've just been using it. Like I've been engaging, as you said, you haven't been, but I've been like engaging with the story stuff, and I've tried to role play it, and I've just using it as a story generator. Like, oh yeah, she wants to rescue her girlfriend, okay, and she just has a wrench and like a keycard cloner. So I'm like, okay, she's like, I don't know, Julie Mao, she'll probably not just raise. She won't kill people. Like I'm trying not to kill people, and then it's not so bad if I fail. It's just like, oh well, yeah, that was impossible odds, that didn't work. Actually, I like the way it's a bit expands in the way, like I feel like these corridors and the weapons are really deadly. It has a little bit of an expansive vibe to me.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like it's not overtly, but in the kind of like the space is lethal.
Yeah. Also, the like if you fly the pod, it's like Newtonian physics.
Yeah, it's certainly a physics model. Well, I mean, yeah, it's because I was kind of like you can like you kind of point the ship in the right direction by moving.
You were calculating vectors in your head, weren't you?
And then like click to accelerate, and then I thought right click just slowed you down.
No, right click matches your speed,
which I am very very happy with, because it's like,
yeah, if it just slowed you down, I wouldn't hit a ship for shit.
Just slowing you down would be like, but man, that implies like absolute reference frame, and that's seriously flawed logic. But it's just like it just locks you to like the speed of the closest thing, which is really useful for approaching stuff.
But also you need to the thing is so the direction, you can also like get close to a ship by accelerating towards it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of like you. I think I watched a video. It might have been a dev video or something where Tom explained how it works. So, the way you correct is like you would actually do in space, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, let's say you're flying towards that ship and you see that you're gonna miss, and you're gonna be too far on the right. Then the way you go towards that ship is you don't accelerate directly towards where the ship is.
Yeah.
You accelerate to the middle point between the vector you're currently going and the one you want to go to.
Right.
Which is apparently how it works in space. So if you watch that video, you see him do it. You got a little bit of it. Like I don't exactly got a hang of it, but like I've gotten better. Because sometimes this is like you need to like if there are missions where the time limit starts when you accept the mission.
Yes.
So you need to get good at going to the ship fast. And also I had this thing. So when he launched the game, there was this thing called the Everything Gun, which is like a really silly weapon. Which like in the first 2 weeks or something, there was a ship going through the game.
Right.
And if you boarded that and then got to the gun, you could unlock that gun and you could use it, like your character could use it. And if you then, like if you retire, you can pass on the gun. Well, we need to talk about the retiring mechanics because they're kind of cool. But you would kind of unlock that gun for your game world. And I did that. Like I spent like 3 hours, whatever, going over and over with more and more characters. Leveling up the characters, getting good equipment, going to that ship, and then trying to get that gun.
Yeah.
But apparently, then you can now just unlock it or something. He changed something about it.
Oh, okay.
Because people thought it was unfair now. I have to look this up now, haven't I? Anyway. Yeah, why don't you explain the heritage thing? I really like that.
The heritage thing? Oh, what's retiring?
Yeah, retiring and just heirlooms basically.
Yeah, so you can it's a kind of like it's a thing other roguelikes vaguely do, is that if you complete the game, in a sense you complete your character's kind of quest, you can retire.
No, you can also retire before that.
But yeah, but like, why would you retire if you haven't completed the quest? But you can
because like maybe if you know you can't do the quest. Also, like if you have like it puts you on a high score thing, and if that character has liberated any stations, you can actually retire, and it says that. And because you can pass a weapon on.
Yeah, you can pass a weapon. I feel like because you can also look at like what other characters there are to pick from at the time because they're all sitting at the bar, right? You can kind of look at them and see, okay, they've got these weapons and I have this weapon. That would implement really well for a playthrough. So retire, give them that weapon, and then be set up for the next playthrough. Which is kind of cool. I've not really done it much because I'm stupid.
Well, the thing is, if you pass that on, if you you name like the weapon, and it can also turn up like in your Steam friends list.
Yes,
like this can just spawn in their world. So at some point you might get a weapon from me.
Do your characters also, if you retire them? Games.
Sorry, you cut out. Yeah, do what?
Do the characters that you retire appear in other friends' games?
I don't think so. It's just
I thought there were achievements based on something like that, but I might just be wrong.
Maybe I'm just wrong.
Hard personal mission, ghost claw. Coming through, rescue a friend's character. That's an achievement. The implication is that you can rescue a friend. Just would be really.
Oh, come on, Tom Francis! Why is this in a video? I'm doing a podcast. I need this in writing. It's like update on everything, and it's a bloody video. Anyway, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
So the achievement list implies that yes, the characters can kind of cross people's games and my people could appear, which I mean is kind of cool, but equally they're just
you
like
have to retire them.
Yeah, but you'll have to like, it doesn't excite like. It's kind of like No Man's Sky in that because it's sort of procedurally generated kind of thing, it has less meaning. Like if I rescued one of your characters in my game, then that wouldn't be as meaningful as if you had designed them yourself in a kind of XCOM kind of way. Because it's just like, okay, cool, the algorithm generated this weird name and, use these art assets. Bam, there's the character. Like, to me, that has less kind of emotional, or at least, like...
That's a problem with your emotions.
Yeah,
Dave.
it's like... like...
No, I'm just making
it's like, to me, it's not your character. It's just like a character that you played with a bit, but you had, like, no kind of ownership over them. You couldn't like express yourself through them in some way.
I have, you just don't know the story of it.
Yeah, exactly. But so you might have, but I don't know. Like for me, that could be literally any other character, and it would be mechanically the same. And visually, how would I even know it was your character?
I think it says like your name.
Yeah, but that's kind of really arbitrary. It's a point just saying like, oh man, this is someone else's friend, because that has like no meaning.
You're really cold.
No, because like
use your imagination, man.
If it just says this is your friend's character, like that could just be complete like lies.
So you see that it could be, but it isn't, because it's why would Tom lie to us?
It's got to be open source, man. I've got to verify it.
Just roll with it. You see, it's Fab's character, so he's been character's been through hell. He's probably done some very unbalanced things in his life.
Okay, maybe.
Okay, so I think he's so it used to be like with the everything gun, right? Mm-hmm. It used to be you have to play it like in the first 2 weeks. Every 30 seconds or whatever, that ship would spawn, and you need to board it. And the mission wasn't easy, at least for me. And get to it was like in a box, and then you'd unlock it. Mm-hmm. And then he changed it. If you played from the launch until the 5th of October, it would just unlock as a random drop. Mm-hmm. And then he said within 6 months we'll unlock it as a random drop for everyone. So pretty soon everybody will have it. Yeah. But what you can't take from me is that I earned it the hard way. I spent hours.
Yeah, he should
get this bloody mission.
He should. He should do.
Should be golden. Mine should be golden.
Fortress 2 items. In that. How did it actually work? Basically, that when they started adding kind of weapons and hats to Team Fortress 2, they were the kind of old school ones before the update, and it would basically be like, this is a special one that's because like you played in 2007, rather than you got it later on. So if they could, he pushed an update that was like, okay, everyone now has like the legacy golden version of the everything gun. And then the next update is like, anyone who unlocks it from now on gets just the everything gun.
Yeah. It's just a really silly gun. Basically, it picks up everything that's close by and fires it out.
Nice. So it's like the junk gun from all that.
Yeah, except it's worse. Like, if those are pistols, then they will fire as well. So if you fire 3 pistols, they'll also shoot.
Oh.
And then it's very unpredictable. Have you actually another thing he did, which I really like, I like the little touches. I like the inheriting things, and Dave, I will be thrilled if I come across one of your characters. And I
better retire some more characters then.
And I will you should. And I will make up a backstory for how they're very in their playthrough.
That's more than I'll have done.
They're all probably very progressive and gender sensitive.
Yeah.
and just nice people who did the right things.
But ultimately, don't care for like procedurally generated content. Like that's the thing on their deathbed. They're like, man, I wasted too much time caring about procedurally generated ads in space.
Which is a thing I love. Like I actually, I'm maybe it's probably you're probably more Chris Thurston, and I'm a bit like Tom. Like when he talks about these things, like making up stories, I do that as well. Like you know how he talks about like one of the reasons he made this game as it is apparently. That like he plays games like he invents a character and then thinks about like, okay, so this character would play Skyrim like this, and he would just not like only kill people with a small knife because that's what he is. And I do that as well. Like I play RPGs like that. I play games like that. I don't know why. It's probably like a gene defect. Another thing which I sadly missed because I was gone all of October is Space Halloween. Have you played it during?
No, I've not.
So basically, he did this thing. He made a blog post called "Death is Cancelled for Space Halloween."
Right.
And so for the duration of Space Halloween, 27th of Space October to the 1st of Space November, when I was on Fiji, life and death in the drift will be different. So he removed death from the game. I just have to read those. These great. Due to science, you cannot die during Space Halloween. Bleeding out, suffocating, or being incinerated in an exploding pod will permanently turn you into a living skeleton. Once Halloween is over, you will remain a skeleton, but any lethal damage will finish you off. On the plus side, skeletons are undetectable by guards' heat sensors and can spacewalk indefinitely since they no longer need to breathe. Actual ghost missions. When taking on a mission with the Ghost Claws, you are now an actual ghost. As with real-life ghosts, you can still be seen, but all attacks pass through you. You will return to normal once the mission is over. Actual skeleton crew. So he has this thing in a game called Skeleton Crew, where it says there's few guards on this ship, not actual skeleton guards. So, and he changed this to actual skeleton crew. Ships running a skeleton crew are now literally running a crew of skeletons. The skeletons are functionally the same as normal guards, except that they know that they can no longer feel hope. And then the in-game text says, a few guards, this ship is running a skeleton crew. During Space Halloween, they are actual skeletons. It's like that. I just like that humor. Does this mean I could potentially become a skeleton ghost? That's a ridiculous question. Of course, you can become a skeleton ghost. I'm kind of sad I missed that, but
maybe
he'll do other things.
I feel like you could quite easily just automatically enable that based on date and time.
Yeah, I think he'll do more stuff. I mean, the game's done really well. I think it's done better than Gunpoint, and that I think at least
did quite well. Enough for him to like make that game for 4 years.
Yeah, so I think this is good news, and I really think I like that. What was the other thing you mentioned just now that we didn't talk about? Oh yeah, so this game is like you think like, okay, if your character like doesn't die, why would you retire? And the other reason is that so if you get blown into space, you have a certain amount of time. So you basically then remote control.
You kind of have oxygen left.
Yeah, and you kind of remote control your pod.
Yes.
To pick you up again, and because that like hurts you, as getting blown into space without a completely enclosing spacesuit would, you get hurt, and like that time goes down more and more. So at some point, it's just going to be a second, and you will die.
Yeah, die very quickly.
So retiring before that sometimes is a good idea. And there's also like, if you get wounded, that is getting wounded, right? So if you get shot on the mission, that doesn't.
It's kind of the same.
It's like if you go into space. Yeah, if you get shot on the mission, they just, What happens when you get shot on a mission? I forgot that. I haven't been shot in a long time. Do they just carry you out into space?
They'll carry you out into space and chuck you out.
All right.
Or if they can't get to you, like if you get shot but like kill the last person, I think there's like a timer, and then you sort of like stop bleeding out, and then you're fine.
Ah, okay. I think you don't like getting shot just like incapacitates you, right?
Yes.
And then they just like carry out in space, and the actual damage comes from just being in space.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I sort of like get grumpy the moment I get shot. So
table flip.
Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah.
God.
So it sounds like you kind of like it, but it's not like a game for like. By design, it has some things that are not for you.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I'm like, man, it'd be a little bit like the little, like, you know, when you get a mission, I'd really like if it just put you in your pod and launched you off straight away.
Right?
Just a minor user interface thing. I was like, I'd quite like it if you say accept mission and bam, you're in your pod.
But the game's subtitle is a game where you can go inside the spaceship. It says go, so you have to go there.
No, but like
so if you haven't played it, like you have like a really small station, and you walk down this top-down view. You walk to this thing, you get a mission, and then you have to walk like in screen real estate, maybe 2 centimeters to activate your pod.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh god, it's like
you're like, I can't handle this.
Just like because you're doing it so often, it's like a very simple task that I don't see why I can't just like have this happen automagically.
Immersion, Dave. Immersion.
Is it immersion? Oh, God.
You will not like Star Citizen if it ever gets finished, where you have to every time they spawn, you get up out of your bunk.
I will most definitely not like that.
I keep watching these videos, and they spawn in the server and get out of their bed every fucking time.
Oh dear, that sounds shit.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, he's just. He took this in the IGF. Wow, didn't know that.
Oh, really?
That's interesting.
I think that's pretty much everything.
It's a really nice game. I really like it. It's
you've been playing it to kind of like as a break, haven't you?
Yeah, it's like a good thing you can just. It's
because the missions are short. You can just dive into it. Like I'll just do one mission.
If I make myself a coffee and like need a break from writing, I can just like play it for like 20 minutes and just get like, empty my head.
Yeah.
And it's also like, it's not like, because I have this thing with timing, like time limits stress me.
Mm-hmm.
But so like getting to the pod, like if there's a time limit, that's kind of stressful. But anything with like where I can hit pause, games where I can just hit pause, and it's kind of like part of the game. It's not like the screen goes away and whatever. Yeah. Are like really relaxing to me, because I just like hitting pause and then just thinking about shit.
Yeah.
So I really liked in that's why I always like Fallout, like the new Fallout games.
You can go to VATS.
Even though like time still moves. It's really slow, but this is even more relaxing, and it's like the missions are short, so you can play them. And now that like it seems to me you can still get easier missions, I can just like play a few easier missions, and then I just like like I've reached this frame of mind where if I just die, it's okay. I can just well.
That's like the most millennial tweet ever.
Well, it's like this. I've.
If I just die, I'll be fine.
In this, yes, because it's like real life isn't a roguelike. But like, you don't like get resets. What I mean. Anyway, this thing is like, the thing about it is, I've made my peace with the fact that this game's probably way too hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
Not because it's hard. But I don't know if I'm dumb. I'm probably not. I'm probably like smart enough to, if I actually sat down and would actually like spend the brain power, I would actually probably be quite good and could solve most problems. But like my problem is like, I've had this in school. Like I have this problem that if I can't see like math, I've been so shit at math because if I can't immediately see what I'm doing something for, I kind of had this. Then I can't do it. Like I get annoyed. I basically I learned English because I wanted to play video games, and there wasn't a German version of Mystic Quest. So this was a bit before your time. This was when a lot of games weren't translated. Yeah, and I had to learn English. And then a few years later, I tried to learn French, and that was. I think the main problem, if I look back at it, is that there wasn't anything like in French literature, French television, or whatever that I desperately wanted to see. You know, it wasn't like there was Star Trek, and at the end of all this like learning of shitty words, cramming like thousands of words in my head, there would be like, well, I can now see Star Trek in the original.
Yeah.
So that was the thing, and with this, it's like the same thing. Like if I could probably sit down and do this, but like that's like work. And these days I'm playing games to relax from work. So so another game I'm currently playing when I have a bit more time to just relax is XCOM.
Yes.
And I will just play that on the easiest difficulty level.
Oh yeah.
And it's not. It actually gets quite hard in the later. Well, if you fuck up. Or if you can have a playthrough where you really good. I mean,
you fuck up bad.
We talked about this before, but like the thing is, also there, I've like, it's like the millennial view again. It's like, well, if I fuck this up, at least it's like the world's gonna end, but it's gonna be hilarious. It's gonna be great. Look at this guy die in a hilarious way. I'm not gonna reload that save. I'm just gonna roll with it. XCOM's fucked. We're now at the point where like everybody's like rookies on every mission, and the aliens are really tough, so they keep killing everybody, and one guy gets out. And I can play games like that now, and then they're actually quite relaxing. I've accepted death. Let's put it this way, at least in Heat Signature.
Nice.
Actually, I have to. I bought War of the Chosen. We have to talk about that at some point as well.
Yes, we do.
And I have to do another campaign.
I've played a bit of it, and I've been watching quite a lot of Flex and also Lewis and Ben from the Yogscast play.
I'll have to watch that. Yeah, sounds good.
Yes, there's lots of it. It's good. It's good stuff because it's like they're a lot better at it than me, so they get further in, so I get to see more of the stuff.
I'm actually not that bad, but mostly because I'm playing on really easy.
You underestimate how bad I am.
I actually have to do another playthrough with like you guys. You know, this is another idea ripped off Tom Francis. With like the friends. I'll have to do that again. Hacker Dave, specialist slippers. He was quite good in my other playthrough. And now I can make propaganda posters when you die.
Now, if those showed up in the other game, that'd be really good. That is more meaningful to me because you have had an input in their creation.
Well, I will, when I do this, I will send them to you on Twitter.
Nice.
That's good enough, isn't it?
That is perfect.
Yeah, so Heat Signature, I think that's it. I think it's great. You should buy it. How much is it? Let me look.
It's well cheap. It's like
basically nothing.
Let
me see.
It's £10.99, so that's exactly €4.
Is it?
It's not. I'm joking.
I'm just gonna look this up because I want to know. How do I go to the store page? Where's the store page? Where's the store page? There.
Just get a store and type in Heatsig.
So you're the normal. No, but then he doesn't know where I'm coming from.
And
he just knows.
We should curate this on our Steam curator page.
Yeah, well, I have to get onto that. So you had the normal edition. How much is that?
£11.
I'm getting ripped off. This is €12.99. That can't be right.
Hang on, no. €12 in pounds. No, it's pretty much right.
What? How much?
€12.99 in pounds. It's getting ripped off by 40 pence. No, wait, I can't do maths. Can I? Can I do maths?
So €1 is 89p.
Sorry, you're being ripped up by £1.40. I can do maths, me.
Screw you! Oh, come on, Francis! Come on!
Well, you've got to pay him in euros because.
No, I bought the supporters edition. I'm okay.
Well, if you pay him in euros, then then it's a more financially secure currency.
I don't think he's getting euros.
Damn it!
He probably wishes he had.
It's basically the euros
because he's making a lot of money, but they all be screwed
every day.
Very soon. Haven't they given you like an ultimatum now?
Oh God, yeah,
to push through Brexit.
Yeah, it's been an ultimatum. It's not going to go well. Value of the pound against the euro.
Aren't you didn't you say you're moving soon?
We're going to try to.
Okay.
We've looked at some houses and we've decided nah.
You decided no houses?
Well, we've looked at the houses and we're like, we don't like it. So we're going to keep on looking.
Okay. But you probably should wrap this up before Brexit goes. Although, maybe the housing market's going to completely collapse. That would be good for you.
That would be good.
Maybe wait. Don't listen to me. I'm the Bitcoin guy. I'm the guy with the 80 Bitcoins. You remember? Don't listen to me.
You're the guy who stole the Bitcoins recently. Burnt them, not stole them.
I'm not good with the money.
There was feedback. Nothing via Twitter. Wait.
Feedback! Send it to us on Twitter. Don't send it to us via email because Char will get angry. There you go.
Excellent.
Nothing on Twitter.
Naff on Twitter, quite a bit through Discord.
I can hear Char swear right now, somewhere in Asia.
Is Thailand?
I can hear her howl in pain. from Hamburg.
I think these would all fit in tweets, so you could do it by tweets.
Well, now these days, War and Peace fits in a tweet apparently.
Okay, so some of this is a little bit old because it's from before the break, but we talked about
Hugo
static sites. X1101 says if you're looking into static site generation, I really, really, really love Nicola. It's getnicola.com. It is a static site generator written in Python, so that's more Dave friendly than say things in Go or Ruby.
There's a German sitcom called Nicola.
Their logo
is a doctor series.
A lightning bolt, so I assume they're referencing Nikola Tesla.
Oh my God, not it.
Fucking everyone, Nikola Tesla, Jesus. Bloody oatmeal comics. Tesla.
Nikola is a German, a woman's first name.
Right.
So when he said, I really love Nikola, I thought this was like a romantic.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
No. What's this written in Python?
Python, yeah.
It's but Q was written in Go, and I hear Go is a lot faster.
Oh yeah, because generating your static website takes fucking ages.
Apparently, that's why they wrote Hugo because Jekyll was too slow.
Was it really that slow?
Well, if you have a really big site,
I suppose.
How do you think they're regenerating Twitter? Why do you think loading Twitter takes that long?
Oh, what? So they're running like Jekyll every time I hit refresh.
Yeah,
this explains why they're making no.
No money, and also it's really light on the service.
Yeah,
it just takes ages.
There we go. Couple
they
from
actually know what they're doing is they're sending you. First, they sent you Jekyll.
And then you build
they install it in JavaScript in your browser.
Yeah, they run a virtual machine in JavaScript.
Right, and then they send you the site templates, and your JavaScript virtual machine runs Jekyll, builds the site, and then that's why it takes so long.
Oh my God!
This is why Firefox can't speed it up.
It's highly plausible. Nicholas MM. Who in response
Nicola says
previous literally stuff, he was in intertidal Nicholas, I think, for a while.
That was good. I like that. Yeah.
Nicholas thanks for the mini rant about podcast advertisement. Fuck Casper mattresses. Seriously, regular ads have the dignity of not acting like they're my best mate.
Okay, what is this mattress? I didn't know this last time.
Oh my god, Casper mattresses. They are disrupting the mattress market.
Isn't Casper like a ghost?
Yeah, so...
Do you sleep like a ghost?
The idea is that they're selling mattresses at a cheap... Basically, they're kind of like a startup that sells mattresses.
What? People have startups and everything now.
Yeah. They kind of got like a decent kind of like trial, so you can like return it in 100 days. They're generally cheaper because they only sell direct to customers.
What are they doing with the returned mattresses? I don't want a returned mattress.
Apparently people generally don't return them because they're really easy.
Well, yes. Also, I don't want a returned mattress. I mean,
yeah, I just silly.
There's probably like a fetish in just like having sex on Casper mattresses and then returning them.
Very weird. Let's not go into that. There was another thing. Startup was the bloody the pause pod, which I'll put.
What?
Super user posted it in the Discord.
Oh my god, this doesn't sound good.
It's a tent. It's a fucking tent.
Oh gosh, I thought this was like a.
No,
Where's it called? The pause.
It's the Twitter link. It's literally just a fucking tent that you sit in to have a break.
Okay, I'll put that in the feedback.
And there was a Kickstarter, and yeah, it's just a tent.
I don't need a fucking tent in my office.
Exactly. I knew this would make you angry.
This is idiotic. Like if you're cool, you have a hat. You know the thing Indiana Jones does when he goes to sleep? You do that with your head.
Yeah.
You put earphones in, you listen to Carolus Rex, and then if somebody disturbs you, because you're not in a tent, you just full tilt go, to the sky! And this is the last time they're ever going to disturb you. My god, this fucking bearded hipster. She's actually putting on fucking Bose headphones in the tent. Why do you need a tent if you have over-ear headphones?
Yeah. It is ridiculous.
You should get fired. If you're in an office and you're putting up a tent,
yeah,
I would
very
fire
antisocial.
you.
So it's all about, one team and breaking down barriers, and you're there just putting up your bloody tent, this leg compartment.
It's got a fucking leg compartment. He's eating a banana. What the hell? This is like one level worse than that. What was that? Oh god, didn't Popey buy one? This cushion where you like put your hands in and your head. You know this thing?
Oh yeah. Like
it looks like a portable anus.
Your head, except it's cushioned.
Yeah.
There's holes through the middle, so you could like put your arms through. It was ridiculous.
The company's called Insider.
It's an Insider the website that like published the video. It's like I think that's a video ripped off somewhere else.
Okay.
I think I saw it somewhere. I saw it in Hacker News. I think says that. Also, then
of course you saw it on Hacker News. These fucking idiots over there are probably using this.
They're loving it. They're loving it in the comments.
God. Buy a $10 tent if you want to do this. You don't need to kickstart a tent with a leg compartment. They're normal tents. How?
Yeah.
Why are people so dumb, Dave? What's going on? While we're at renting, by the way, I got we got a comment. You know that our shows are also on YouTube?
Yes.
Sixgun.tv. Mm-hmm. And speaking of the last show, Urban Koistinen said, really good rant by Fab about Elon Musk dragging Star Trek Discovery down by the way he is mentioned in it. So, yes. Fucking tents! Nobody needs indoor tents. If you want to have a break, close your eyes. Break done. You're inside. You don't need to protect yourself from the fucking rain. If your co-workers indoor, you get a Nerf gun. Get just massive headphones. I take my the podcast headphones. Mm-hmm. Like these. Are they? What are they actually? The Sennheiser? I don't know. What are these? I don't know. Headphones. It doesn't say. They're headphones. Anyway.
They're the posh ones, yeah.
Yeah, just use massive headphones.
Nicholas
and sunglasses. Works every time.
Nicholas MM and Super User both complained that the podcast was too short, and they're suggesting 14 hours.
So you can survive a flight from Dubai to Brussels.
So you can listen to an hour a day
Oh my God.
and never run out of podcast. That'd be a very strenuous podcast.
I don't know. I would actually be up for quitting my job. Like, if you could make money. Seriously.
I just don't think it would be interesting after maybe the first.
No, we're great. Like,
I don't think I'm very good at anything 14 hours.
You cut out there. How many hours do you think it'd be interesting?
After, like, the first.
No, we're still interesting right now. I'm playing the ukulele. This is great.
But I sort of like...
I say playing.
Yeah, 14 hours. I think they're probably referencing the thing where I talked about the 24-hour live stream podcast
I think
people wanted to do.
I think we could do this. I think we need a Patreon. We need to make this happen.
Let's make a Patreon for
I want to quit my job and just do 14-hour podcasts.
Yeah, they could. I'll use the Patreon money to buy tanks for Warhammer.
Oh, that's a perfectly legitimate use of the Patreon money.
Write it off as a business expense.
Yeah, of course, it would be a business expense.
Yeah, like it's content
tax
for
back
podcast. Super User said that Taylor Swift gag had been in stitches. I have no recollection of making a Taylor Swift gag.
Me neither. Was that me? It might have been
I don't know. I had no idea. Also, he says, I want more Fab playing introductions to topics on his ukulele. Which, boom, done.
I hope you still feel like that now.
And then Nicholas MM says, wake up, Dave. Egg white in cocktails is the real deal. And I say, no. No, I'm not having that. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's morally wrong.
What is it for? Is it just like...
You kind of whisk it so that it kind of makes a foam, I think.
So it's like Sabayon.
Maybe. I think it's just that it makes a foam.
Isn't this just so you get protein, so you know...
Yeah, for all those people who are just like living on just gin. And they're like, nah, I need some protein too, so let's add some egg white.
You need to keep your strength up for the...
Like a fucking pancake.
You know what I mean? Living legend needs eggs. I don't know.
And then the last bit of feedback was Terriel. Is Fab actually Pokey's secret alter ego? And he links to a video.
Okay, this made me sad again. So I watched that. I didn't actually know the song, but it's from a game made by Daedalic Entertainment, and Pokey is like he sings it. It's like I think it's in the game. He's like one of the founders of Daedalic. And this just reminded me that he's from Hamburg and Daedalic's from Hamburg. So they're just around the corner. So I've just like, before we started the show, I've just been sitting there thinking, I should quit my job and start to work for Daedalic. Maybe they need somebody who can write stories. I could become the German Char.
Oh my god.
Oh, be a dream come true.
You'd have to go through like crunch though.
Dave,
video game crunch seems pretty bad.
I'm a journalist.
Yeah.
I'm going through crunch all the time.
Oh, I don't know, maybe. You're not sleeping in the office.
I'm sleeping in the fucking train.
I suppose.
I feel like crunch. It's in Hamburg. I can sleep in the office.
It's just around the corner. You can get your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it'd be more comfortable than what I'm doing now, I think.
Fair play.
Maybe plan B if the Patreon doesn't work out.
Yeah, if the Patreon doesn't work out, you're going to go work for video games.
Yeah.
And then be all about ethics in video games journalism.
Yeah, just be like... Again, be like Tom Francis, make a game and then podcast about it.
This game is fantastic.
Fab,
tell me more.
These characters are great.
Yes, they're supremely written with amazing interactions.
There's this character in it called Fabius Fab. He's brilliant. He has a lot of hats.
And he's really angry.
Can't play the ukulele well. Yeah, so we have to sadly have to disappoint you. Not 14 hours.
No.
But yeah. We're doing our best here.
Yes, we're working on.
It's my third podcast
content
today.
Yes.
Please have mercy.
Oh, nice. Like a 3-hour meeting.
I had actually, I had a meeting. It was only a 1 hour meeting, but it was horrible. Actually, I had some urges. Mm-hmm. And then I went home on the train, and the train was late. And like people were being dickheads on the train. And idiots and train noobs. I'm sitting beneath. Oh God, this is making it worse. I need more rum to get that picture out of my brain. Sitting beside this guy, right? The train's really cramped. And it has this rest in the middle. Armrest, and he's like on the armrest, and he's like pushing me out of my seat, basically. And I'm like, calm down. I'm like, if he pushes 1 millimeter more, it's gonna be fucking murder on the ICE. Swear to God, it's gonna be murder on the S-Bahn, except the twist is that I gotta kill everybody. I don't.
If you would like to send us the feedback, you can not do it at GNR@sixgun.org, because why would you do that? You can tweet it to us in 280 characters, collectively at Geek News Radio. You can reach us individually. Fab is...
At Fab, Foxtrot Alpha Bravo,
Boom.
Sierra Hotel.
And I'm at Mega Slippers. That's Mega. We've got a Discord where we chat about stuff.
Cut out! It's Mega Slippers.
Mega Slippers. We've got a Discord. There's a link to that. You can come along. You can have chats. It's good stuff. And there's a YouTube channel where you can listen to the podcast at work.
I've been in the Discord more.
Yeah, you've been in the Discord more. Been posting things. There's been like ancient comic book chat. It's good stuff.
Why are you listening to the podcast at work on YouTube? Not that I...
Well, say you didn't want to get your phone out, or you want something weird.
Yeah, and it's on your PC, so nobody...
Yeah.
I think you listen to music. It's good.
Exactly.
I like it. I approve of it.
Boom. Next level podcasting.
Stealth podcast listening.
Yes, no witnesses. So,
yeah, I guess
Hack the planet.
Bula.
Nice.
I want to tell people that we're back next week, but then I don't know.
Oh, shit.
Are we back next week?
Ellie's written a small sign and bedtime.
Bedtime, yeah, she's right.